They say laughter is the best medicine, and for many wounded warriors, it's true. Coming up next, how comedy is helping injured veterans work through the trauma of war. Nearly 2.5 million Americans have now served in Afghanistan and Iraq during the last 13 years. Studies show as many as 1 in 4 veterans who have returned struggle with post-traumatic stress disorder. It is a complex condition born from horrific physical or emotional trauma, and treating it can be just as complex. Most psychologists agree that expressing the experience, not repressing it, is a key to improvement. But what if that expression includes overt humor, even stand-up comedy?
1, 2, 3.
For 30 years, psychologist Steve Wilson has studied the science behind therapeutic laughter. Last weekend, he led a 3-day seminar on advanced training for those using humor to heal.
We have people who are working with kids in schools to develop confidence, anti-bullying programs, helping people just get along, workplace programs, every kind of healthcare support community. Cancer, arthritis, diabetes, fibromyalgia, cardiac rehab.
But what about for those who've experienced the horror of war?
I told my wife before I left to Iraq, I said, honey, if I don't come home in one piece, I want you to go on without me. Luckily, her and her new husband let me rent out the garage.
A special screening at the seminar of the Wounded Warrior Award-winning documentary, Comedy Warriors, Healing Through Humor. 5 veterans of Iraq and Afghanistan who suffered devastating physical and emotional injury were selected to team with renowned comics Bob Saget, Zach Galifianakis, and B.J. Novak, as well as comedy writers, taking their dark experiences in the war zone and turning them into stand-up comedy.
All I really did was step there when I should have stepped, well, anywhere else in the world probably would have been fine.
Marine Sergeant Rob Jones was a combat engineer in Iraq, clearing minefields when he stepped on one in 2010. He lost both legs. Humor was always a part of his recovery, sporting a pirate hat to diffuse the shock the first time his mother saw him. He came to town for the conference and screening of his documentary and tells me working with the comedians and then getting up on stage provided huge benefit.
For people that perform it, getting up on stage and talking about the things that weigh on their mind and the things that cause them pain, and they get it out, and that relieves pressure, and then in turn I think that really helps mentally.
Columbus VA psychologist Nicole Jackson works in a post-traumatic stress disorder clinic and agrees that finding humor in the horrible can have impact on those struggling to recover.
And to be able to laugh, right? To be able to tell something that is horrific that you might have experienced, but to find the humor or the silver lining in it is something that can be powerful and moving.
Also in the audience, veterans of Iraq and Afghanistan. Staff Sergeant Paul Harness lost an eye to shrapnel and says being open and even humorous about your loss can do a lot.
Absolutely. I used to wear an eye patch all the time. You know, I would tell people I could throw darts better now, and without the humor, it'd be extremely hard to cope.
Even supporters say that therapeutic humor may not be the silver bullet to cure PTSD. But for this stand-up comic on prosthetic legs, he says it can't hurt.
Showing people that it is possible to get out of your hole, to overcome whatever it is that is bringing you down.
And chuckle along the way, huh?
Yeah, and just laugh about it and get over it.
Comedy Warriors is a powerful documentary, both funny and poignant. And if you are interested in a copy, call 1-800-NOW-LAUGH. Yeah, that's it. 1-800-669-5233. The cost, $18. A part of that, the proceeds go to Sergeant Rob Jones there and his journey as he continues to train as a triathlete to raise awareness and money for 3 organizations that support severely wounded veterans in their recovery. Great. I've watched about half of this. I'm going to now take it home and watch the rest. But it is a powerful piece and an interesting idea. Getting it out. They bond with the audience, and they want the audience to laugh along with them. They feel that support that way.
You know, I've done some stories with wounded warriors with head trauma, and it is difficult for them even to explain to loved ones, you know, what they've been through. So to see them be able to do it
Express it that way, yes,
would be, I think, maybe just a different way to get it out there. Great story.
And it doesn't help everyone. I mean, everybody, as Steve Wilson says, whatever works. He calls it the WW therapy, but in this case, this does help some of these people, and that's a good thing.
Maybe even watching it will help.
It does, and the veterans that were there that night, real quickly, they really enjoyed it, and they were touched by it because they know what this guy's gone through.
Yeah, great story.
Fantastic.